Okay, hi guys. Can you guys hear me now? Please put a one in the chat because it was telling me that I'm backstage and I can see you guys' comments, but I can't tell if you guys can hear me. Sorry, I'm having some issues with the stream. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Right. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, perfect. Hi everyone. This thing is not gonna stress me out. Do you hear me? This ain't gonna stress me out. Hi everyone. Let's reset. Hi everyone. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Um yeah. Honestly, like that thing stressed me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because I was just like, it looks like I was in here by myself, but I could see you guys in the chat. So I could see you guys like messaging in the chat, but then I couldn't hear. Well, I didn't know if you guys could hear me or anything, but I'm glad you guys can hear me now. I can see the ones in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Hello, Ebony. Hello, you're welcome to the stream. Guys, please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. Yes, the stream was off to a slow start, but we gonna pick it up. So yes, how is everyone doing? Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday, y'all. Like it is almost Friday. How are you feeling? I hope you guys have had a really good week. Yeah, how is everything going? How is everyone feeling tonight? Are you guys drinking anything tonight? Guys, I am not drinking nothing but water tonight because I woke up, so I feel like I don't know what's going on with me, but I spent most of the day sleeping. I was so tired today, guys. So I woke up with a headache, and so I have been drinking water ever since. I took some Advil, and now I'm going to just be drinking water. So no drinks for me tonight. All about that water. But yeah, let me know if you guys are drinking anything. I can live vicariously through you since I can't drink anything but water tonight. But yeah, how's everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so today we have a few bits to talk about, unless something more comes up. So it may be a bit of a shorter stream than we usually do because there's not much to talk about. Um, so I will talk about some rumor about Tisha is planning to leave Marsau. So we're gonna talk about it. Do you believe it? Do you think it's all BS? Do you think it's a lie? Um, so that is one. Let me just say allegedly, okay? We don't know for a fact. We don't know what is the truth. Let me just put my banner up. Everything I say is alleged, in my opinion only, and for entertainment purposes. So everything we discuss here, just take it as just opinions. Nothing is being said as truth or facts or anything like that. Okay, also oh no, you have a sore throat. Ah, so sorry, hon. I hope you feel better. If you have one of those strepsils, one of those like cough medicine, I find that that also helps quite well for sore throat. But I'm not a doctor, so that's my disclaimer. But I hope you feel better soon. Um, but yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Miss Wanda alleging that people tried to call CPS on her, and then CPS ended up showing up. So we are going to talk about that as well. We're also going to talk about Kimmy basically trying to let us know. So Kimmy was doing an interview recently, and she spoke on the breast cancer, her experience, family history, and then she talked about Maurice. So we are going to talk about those things as well. We will be covering some other news that has come up as well. So I will be sharing whatever it is I can share here and there. I will do as well. Let me see if I can pull that out. There's also some Charles Oakley news, so Real Housewives of Atlanta news, and a little bit of Real Housewives of Potomac as well. So we are going to talk about all of those things. But please hit that like button. That's the only thing I ask for as you guys join in. Is a free way to support the channel. Is also a way for other people to know that we are live, so that other people can join in, guys. Like, don't keep all this fun to yourself, right? So please hit that like button as you come in. Thank you so much. We have 29 people tuning in right now, and we only have 15 likes. So if you guys can please smash that like button, that would be very, very helpful. And if you don't want me to keep saying it throughout the live, you might as well just smash that like button, not live button. Smash that live button. I can't even speak. Smash that live button. Why do I keep saying live? What is going on? I better drink some water because clearly something ain't right. Smash that like button so that I don't have to keep asking and begging y'all for likes. Okay? Thank you. Okay. So let's start with the wonder of it all. So Wanda was talking about how people need to stop doing that, and that people basically called CPS on her. Allegedly she got a call, and people had called CPS on her, and they were claiming that she was on some drugs, right? So there was also claims about like the kids being mistreated, all that kind of stuff. Um, and then what it sounds like she was saying was like they showed up to her house randomly just to sort of carry out like a routine check. And you know, even though like I guess she was a little on the tipsy side or whatever. When they found out it was Wanda from Love and Married Huntsville, they let it go and it was all good. And then she kind of went off on the people calling CPS and saying F them. My thing though is like, wait, did you just admit to being a little tipsy? Like, okay? Like, that is just so weird. That is not something, if I'm being honest, that's not something I would admit publicly on that kind of platform. It just, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But then she used the opportunity to go off on the people that were calling CPS on her, basically saying F them, in usual Wanda fashion. Um and she also said that True T needs to call her. She has some information. But she also wants True T to drop the lawsuit against Maurice. I'm like, Mama, what information are you going to give True T? What information could be possibly that juicy that you think would incentivize True T to drop a lawsuit against Maurice? Especially if you think about all the things that Maurice was being accused of, right? All of the way in which he conducted these things, and in the way in which he said he served certain things but didn't serve certain things the way it should have been done. Those things are serious issues, especially for a lawyer. So do you truly believe that all of a sudden you can incentivize True T to drop a lawsuit because you want to give her some tea? It's like, I don't know what tea she could possibly give her that would be worth dropping a lawsuit. You didn't even say, okay, let's try to reach some sort of financial out of court settlement. You want her to drop the lawsuit in the hopes that you will give her some juicy tea? Like, who are we and what are we doing? It doesn't make a lick of sense. And it's so shocking that she openly said this, really believing that, like, Is Truity really going to be like, okay, Miss Wanda says she gonna drop me some tea, so I'm gonna leave Maurice and drop the lawsuit? You're not dropping a lawsuit where you can potentially get good money for the promise of some tea that you don't even know if it's going to be hot or cold, right? You don't know what that's going to be like. You don't know if the tea is worth it. Even if you have a conversation prior to make sure whether or not the tea is worth it or whatever, think about it. What tea could possibly be worth dropping a lawsuit against Maurice? I'll wait. If you guys know what tea could be that juicy, please put it in the chat. Because from where I'm sitting, I don't see how any kind of tea like that would be that juicy. Right? So London Pretty NYC girl says, FYI, True Tea does not have a lawsuit against Maurice. Miss Black Titanic does. Oh, right. I think I misunderstood. I thought True Tea was also listed in that lawsuit, but maybe I'm wrong. Because to be honest, it's been a while now I've heard anything about the lawsuit, so I may have forgotten. But thanks for keeping me honest. Um, London Pretty is saying True Tea does not have a lawsuit against Maurice. Miss Black Titanic does. Okay. So yes, I think maybe I misunderstood that True Tea. I thought True Tea was a party to the lawsuit as well, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, thanks, pretty girl NYC. Pretty London Pretty NYC girl. But anyway, whatever the lawsuit is, she is basically saying she has some information if the lawsuit can be dropped against Maurice. So that's pretty much what was said. Yeah, I don't see that happening. We have only 20 likes. Please click the like button as you join in. We have 32 people in the live, but we only have 20 likes. Please hit that like button. Thank you. Miss Wanda needs to drop whatever tea she has and stop with the ridiculousness. Yeah, I really don't believe that she has the tea that she's saying that she does. I think it's one of those things where you know how someone is like, oh, I'm a spiel it all, I'm gonna tell you this, but then they don't really have anything that is that interesting. It's just like perceived leverage, right? If you think they have some good tea, then from where they're sitting, you're thinking, oh, okay, they have some good tea. So, for those who have just come in, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. We're currently talking about the story where Miss Wanda talks about people calling the CPS on her. And also, she does talk about the content creator can call her to give her some information. She can drop the lawsuit against Maurice. So, guys, we have 20 likes, but 45 people in this live. So, please let's hit that like button. Please and thank you. Yeah, I do think like it's low key, you know, when someone just hypes it up and they give the impression like, yes, I got this juicy information on you, or I have this juicy tea or whatever, when in reality they do not have nothing. Whatever they have is nonsense, right? I feel like that's pretty much what that is. I don't believe for a second that there's some out of the blue, juicy, exclusive, groundbreaking, earth shattering tea that will be dropped. I don't believe that for a second. And I don't think that lawsuit is getting dropped. At least not for that. Now, if you want to negotiate with something valuable, then maybe, but not some stale tea that no one even knows the quality of, right? So yeah, I definitely don't see that happening. But let me know what y'all think. Do you think that the lawsuit should be dropped so that Miss Wanda can drop the tea? I personally think that's BS, but you guys can, you guys are entitled to your opinion. You don't have to agree with me. So let me know in the chat what you guys think. She doesn't have any tea to drop. Please, Miss Wanda loves attention so bad. I couldn't agree more. I think that she loves attention. She loves involving herself in whatever the conversation is. If she feels like it's a huge conversation, a lot of people in the YouTube streets are talking about something, she always wants to try to plug herself in there so that she can monetize in some way, in my opinion, or just get the attention, right? Look, I feel like there are some people in this world who just love attention. It doesn't matter if it's bad attention, if it's horrible attention, if it's good attention, whatever the attention is, they will take it. And interestingly enough, I feel like Tama is one of them. I think Tama loves attention regardless. She doesn't care who it is. Anything that brings attention, she takes it. And so I feel like, yes, Miss Wanda is kind of like that as well. Just very, very, it comes across as very, very, or she comes across as very, very attention seeking. So yeah, I am with you on that. So guys, please, please hit that like button. We can't have more people. We can't have times two of y'all in the chat and the like is still not looking like, why y'all stingy with the likes tonight? Like, please be generous with the likes, please and thank you. Okay. So Gailey Davis is saying Tisha ain't going nowhere. And I guess on that point, let's roll to that segment. Do you guys think that Tisha is going to leave Marsau? Put it in the chat. Do you think Tisha Scott, will ever leave Marsau? Scott, put it in the chat. What do you think? Do you think there will ever come a point where Tisha is going to say enough is enough? I do not want to be bothered with this. I I am leaving this. I am moving on. Do you think Tisha will ever get to that point? Let me know. What do you guys think? So Tommy's saying we have 30 likes now. Please hit that like button. Yes, please. Keep hitting the like button. Please and thank you. So my lady thinks Tisha ain't never going anywhere. Okay. So someone says no. Okay, keep putting your comments. Do you think Tisha is ever going to leave Marsau? Put it in the chat. I'm going to just give you guys some time to put your feedback in the chat. Do you think Tisha is leaving? So far, we have Gailey Davis who says Tisha ain't going nowhere. Then we see my lady who says no, so Tisha ain't going nowhere. Lakeisha says it's about time Tisha leaves Marsau. Yeah. But will she do that? What do you think? Do you think she'll genuinely be like, do you know what? I've had enough. Enough is enough. I'm a head out. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna leave this man alone. And move on my merry way. Let me know. Tommy says, oh no, she's a rich wife. She's staying there for life. Right. I do think that Tisha definitely makes being a wife her identity. If you notice, like she was doing the rich wife like merch. She's always doing like wife merch or like, talking about being a wife, being a mother, all of that kind of stuff, amazing things, wonderful. But then have you gotten to the point where that is so embedded in your in who you are, right? Where nobody can think of Tisha without thinking, oh, a wife, right? So it's like, do you have any identity outside of that? These are the questions that I want to know. Do you have any identity outside of that? Those are some of the things I want to know, right? So yeah, it is definitely very, very I would say it's very, very odd with that. But yeah, oh no, she's a rich wife, she's staying there for life. Yeah, I guess she would have to. London Pretty NYC Girl says it's illegal to pay someone to drop a lawsuit. It's called illegal obstruction. Yes, absolutely. What I meant was more as in reach a settlement, as opposed to like paying to drop a lawsuit. So no. what I was just saying, like it's not like she's saying, oh, let's pull you to the side, let's have conversations, can you drop the lawsuit, can we settle this, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Hey, super. Hello. It's always good to see you in the chat. How are you doing? Yeah, I hope everything is going well. Thank you for joining tonight. My lady thinks Tisha may leave if there's a storyline in place. That is a very, very interesting point. So you think if she's going to be getting a bag from it, she may decide. Sorry, I almost like squished my bottle of water. Hmm. So you think that Tisha may leave if there's a storyline in place. Okay. So I guess she ain't that slow then. So maybe if it's about the bag, she gonna be chasing the bag. Which is like fair enough, girl. Like, you know, if someone is putting you through the ringer, then you might as well like get paid to leave them, right? So yeah, I guess if there's a storyline in place, I'm not even gonna be mad at it. Absolutely not. Vanessa says clickbait. She ain't going nowhere. They need this for the show. They're trying to restore what Melody and Martell went through, all for views. I'm still not watching. I think you may be right. I think that they saw how Melody, was successful in leaving Martell and has now moved on to being and doing such amazing things. But my thing is, yes, you guys are not Melody. That's just the truth. You're not Melody. Um, and do you have the same drive that she does, right? Because if I think about Tisha, I feel like Tisha says that she wants to do something like the mommy podcast or whatever. Does she still do mommy podcast? Or, you know, I don't see her being consistent at these certain things that she says that she wants to do. So I feel like, to be completely honest, consistency is part of why Melody is who she is. Her drive, her consistency to make sure that she shows up even when, things may not necessarily be going well or she's going through a lot, she still shows up. But it's like, sis, where's the mommy podcast? What's up with the hair products? Like, it's just like there's no consistency. We see you talk about it here and there, or we see you promote it here and there, but then what happens next? So I feel like more needs to be done. And unless they have that same drive, that same ambition, and that same consistency, you're not going to have the same results that you want unless something changes. So yeah, I will say that. My lady says, what happened with Tisha's Tuesday? This is a very good question. I do not know what happened with that. It's same as the mommy podcast thing. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know. Like, all I know is I haven't really been seeing that being promoted. I think usually she would like do a little bit, and then maybe after doing a little bit, she doesn't then follow through with it. So I wonder if it's a little bit like that, but either way, it's like, girl, you got to be consistent. You need to show up and show out. At least give it a couple of months of doing something actively. Let us get into seeing you doing these things. But I don't know. I think if you truly don't have drive, like, it's very, very hard to keep going, especially when you don't even like the things that you're doing and you're doing things to please other people as opposed to what you really want to do. When you really want to do stuff, it happens naturally. Like, for instance, me coming here to speak to you guys. Before now, even I came on, when I joined, I was feeling a headache, but I really wanted to talk to you guys. I really enjoy talking to you guys. So I just jumped on. I was like, I'll figure it out whilst I'm here. And I had my Advil and my water, and I'm like, I'm gonna just be drinking it in between, and we'll be talking about it, right? So I just feel like unless you genuinely like what you do, I don't think that you'll be consistent at it. If you're doing things because everyone else is doing it and you're not finding what your niche is, what you like doing, then you will be frustrated, right? It's the same way people always think like people always think, oh, being a content creator is easy, right? Until they then get the opportunity to be a content creator for one day. And then it's like, wow, this really ain't easy, right? So I just think like, yes, it's easy to be like, oh, I can come and I'll do this podcast and I'll be consistent. I'll do this every week. But then if you don't like it, if you don't have interest in the subject matter, if you find it as if it feels like too much work for you, it is not going to be sustainable for you. So it's like that's why they say do what you love as opposed to loving what you do. Because if you do what you love, then you're doing it in love, you enjoy it, and you just get better results that way. As in in-laws, you all have to accept each other, but you don't have to like each other. Yes. So maybe that is the approach that, the Scots want to take, where it's just like, okay, we know, we may not fully like each other or whatnot, but we're together, we're going to show up regardless, and that's just what that is. So it could be certainly that's what the vibe is. Super says all is good. How am I? I am good. I'm good. Yeah, like I had a bit of drama when I first joined the stream, but I'm good now. Thank you. Alf Dallas, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope you're good. Um and Alf Dallas, when I'm in Dallas, we should link up. I'm likely to go to Dallas very, very soon. Once I get sorted on some of the things that I have going on here, yes, I may be coming to Dallas very soon. Denise says Tisha is switching to mom identity now. Oh, is she? Okay, let me see if I can pull up her Instagram. Let's see if we can gather any interesting bits from Tisha's page. This is how you know I don't even really be going on Tisha's page. I wasn't even sure what her Instagram name was. Okay, so let me share the tab so we can kind of go through her Instagram together and see if we find anything interesting. Now, I hope, because I think these are pins, so these ones are probably old shots. So let's see what this one is. Okay, so good thing it's on. Okay, so baby Chris Brown brought the aunties out. So she was out with the girlies. She's like, I'm in my rich girl era, rich in memories, friendship, sisterhood, and blessings. Choosing AAMU was one of the best decisions. Okay. So rich girl era. Okay. Sounds cool. Okay. Rich because I get to create every day. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see what the next post is about. Okay, so a picture of her face. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, she's talking about help me wish my man a happy birthday. And then he says, thanks, bae. Okay. Okay. So I guess they must be okay though. Because 2 weeks ago, I know people, even when things are happening with them, they still like. But 2 weeks ago, she still posted my man, my man, my man. I know, like, when things are going on in a lot of people's lives, they still would post like a happy birthday post to their spouse, even if they're not necessarily, or things are not good in the hood. Tisha and Marsau have so many hidden secrets. I won't be surprised if it happens though. Yeah, I will not be surprised, to be honest. I do think that it's sort of like it's a team at this point. I think that no matter what happens, it's either they decide to stay together or Tisha decides to move. But at the same time, I wonder if she feels like she's been with him for a long time. Because sometimes when you've been with someone for a long time and you've made that like a whole personality for you, you've like made it a whole thing. You're always talking about like you're a wife, you've been married for this number of years. It's very hard to leave relationships like that because you've made that like your identity, you've made that a huge part and parcel of who you are, right? So I'm not surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't leave him because that's pretty much a huge part of identity. Because if you scroll a little bit, here is another picture of them, another video of them. Yeah, another picture of them, Black Nick. And then something else that shows both of them together. So it's like whatever happens, another one here, another one here, another one here. So it definitely feels like it's definitely given a lot of wife content, right? Even on her profile, she still says wife to Marsau, mom of this. So you can definitely see that like that's a huge part of who she is and who that's a huge part of her brand. So I don't necessarily know if leaving him, is definitely on the bingo cards. Although wasn't Portia Williams before she left that man out here saying, "My man, my man, my man." She was like, "Be his peace." So it's like, girl, she was out here talking about be his peace, and then the next thing she's filing for divorce. So who knows? To be honest, who knows? Avdallah says, my theory is Tisha is MIA because she has had a new procedure. Oh, plot twist. I love how Avdallah thinks because I feel like she thinks a lot differently than like some of us would think because I did not even think about it, but you may be onto something. So she feels like Tisha is MIA because she's had a new procedure and she's recovering, or she's embarrassed by the latest photo with Marsau and the mystery lady, even if it was an innocent picture. Right. So, yes, I think your theory may be correct. And I think the second one may even be more correct, which could be she's embarrassed by the picture that we saw. Don't forget the way she was moving when that girl in the red dress from Ready to Love was interacting with Marceau. She did not like that. So I would not be surprised if that is part of it. And maybe she was like really, really embarrassed by what she saw. So I would be like, yeah, maybe definitely. I do think it could be two. But if it's one, I won't be surprised either because maybe she's prepping for the reveal, the big reveal of the big reveal of like whatever it is that she has now done to herself. But we'll have to wait and see. Al says Tisha is a poser. She does what she thinks is catchy at the moment. She's never committed to a project. Oh my gosh. This is an excellent breakdown of exactly how I think Tisha is as well. This is what I've always felt. I felt like if she feels like something is popping, a lot of people are doing, like, for example, I feel like with the products and stuff, she saw how Melody was doing well with the products and thought, let me do this. She saw how Stormy was doing well with the products. So she thought, let me do this, right? And then ended up copying was it shipping policy or whatever that she, or privacy policy or whatever of Stormy, and then she claims someone else did. Okay, fine, whoever, someone from her team did that, if that's what she wants us to believe. But my thing is like, you keep starting things that you don't necessarily have interest in, that you're just doing because you think, okay, it's the in thing, people are making money from it now. Have you met people who, once they see people making money from something, next thing they're like, oh, I'm doing this now? And it's like, okay, are you doing this because this is something that you want to do, or are you doing this because these are the questions I have. So yeah, I just feel like it's definitely, you're right, it's definitely whatever is catchy at the moment, whatever is trending, whatever seems to be making money for a lot of people. It's like, let me just jump in, let me get this bag too. But the problem is, like, do you have what it takes? Do you have the hard work behind it to make sure that you get this bag yourself? Or are you going to just, you know give it a few days and then decide, okay, I can't do this anymore? Good afternoon, chat and CC. Good afternoon, CMAF. I hope you're well. I believe they are talking about Monkey Shoulder said that she's leaving her husband after the house is finished. Yes, allegedly. That's what it was being said. Um, I've never heard anyone say monkey shoulder, but that's funny. But yes, I feel like that's what is allegedly being said, that she will be leaving after the house is finished. So we are just like discussing, do you think she will definitely leave Marceau, or do you think it's all BS? So Kimmy may be mad that Tisha isn't in the family after Tisha and Marcel get a divorce or separation. It will be a lot different not having her in the family. Yes, Lakeisha, I agree with that. And I think part of it is that, yes, Kimmy may be glad she doesn't have to deal with Tisha, because I feel like she probably thinks Tisha is a lot needy. I think so. But at the same time, I low key feel like Kimmy will also miss Tisha, because if they then decide not to be on the show anymore, what then happens? Kimmy will have to be dealing with the folks by herself, because Tisha ain't gonna be there to be tag teaming people together. They're not gonna have that. So yeah, but I don't think Kimmy ever really liked Tisha like that. I think it's just, it's one of those things like, if we're in family, we're not going to be friends. So yeah, I guess Kimmy may not care either way. But I do wonder if Kimmy's perspective has now changed with all of the things that she's probably also going through with Maurice. Maybe she would want a Tisha, so that at least you need someone that also understands what you're dealing with, because they're going through something similar. But who knows? Tommy says, but the cheating rumors came out. She's been quiet as hell. Yes, that's interesting. So let me see, when was the last time she posted again? I think this was the last post. It was 21st of October. 21st of October. And we are 6th of November. That is a while, especially considering she posted on the 20th, on the 21st, on the 17th, on the 15th, okay, on the 9th. So she seems to be one of the people that posts quite regularly. Right. So it seems like she posts regularly, and then for her to just disappear and not post anything, that is very, very odd. You're right. So maybe it's been since the rumors came out that she's just been like, yeah, nah, I don't want to be out there. I don't want nobody um yeah, like I don't want nobody getting involved in the conversation or whatnot. Um click clicks and news says pick me's don't leave. Mm-mm-mm. She ain't wrong. Pick me's do not leave. They will do everything but leave. So yeah, she may never leave. Evening Bajan. Evening, how are you? Um okay, so Tommy is saying we have only 40 likes and we have over 50 people in the chat. So please, let's let's at least hit about 50 likes, guys, please. Rasputia Jr. did say she was going to get a condo near Marceau Jr. going to college. Near where Marceau Jr. is going to college. Ooh, that's a sign. You know when people start to get their own condos, where they start to be like, oh, I need a man pad, or I need like somewhere where I can lay my head down. That's usually never a good sign. It's usually like, even if they don't decide to separate, it's given like, let's start separating things. Let's start having our own thing, right? Let's start doing our own thing. And I wonder if, even if they don't officially leave each other, maybe they would start to like leave more of a separate life, maybe they'll start to live separate lives. And I noticed like I've been getting a few comments recently where people have been saying like they feel like Tisha and Marceau allegedly leave separate lives anyway, and that they just come together for filming and that kind of stuff. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. Um, what I noticed is something that I've been seeing a lot lately, like in my comments, where people feel like they're definitely living like separate lives. So I found that very interesting. I can't believe you guys aren't liking this live like Tommy has asked. Tell them, literally, I need you to say it louder, Alf Dallas. Tell them. Make it louder, because I do not understand how many times we got to beg for the likes. Like the people, it's like at this point we need to start marking attendance. You walk in, one, You walk in, put in the chat number one, number two, because I'm like, what's up with being stingy with the likes, people? Yep. Tommy and I are in sync because tell me why I said tell him when I saw Dallas, and then Tommy also says tell him. Exactly, tell him. Absolutely. Bajan says, remember the first season, she got the deal to build a hotel. How many seasons later, no mention of the hotel and what's happening with Scott Manor? Absolutely. I feel like Scott Manor is another She by Sheree. Scott Manor is definitely given, was it She by whatever her manor was called, but that manor took a long time to get built. So yeah, I don't know what is happening with Scott Manor, but I suspect she definitely wants to have that because I think that's also part of being able to have the lifestyle, right? So like you want to be able to be like, yeah, I got me Scott Manor in the end, because it's something that she's always wanted, right? They've always wanted to build that. So I think she definitely wants that. So she is probably like, I'm gonna get my manor before I leave. Lakeisha says, family or not, the scouts are not, or scouts, Scots are not even all that. Yes, yes, ma'am. They are not. They are not. What would be the point of leaving after the house is done? Why not just leave now? Do you know what? I thought about this as well, right? It's something that I really thought about. Why leave later? Why leave after the house is done? So I have like a theory. Well, maybe two theories. But one theory is maybe she wants a situation where she gets the opportunity to stay in the house afterwards, because if the house then turns into maybe a family home, the kids are then like staying there and I've stayed there for a while, then maybe she can argue that she wants to keep the home when her and him decide to go separate or whatever, right? So maybe that's that. I think it could also be like, sometimes where you want to get something out of it. It's like women who stay with a good for nothing man, but they will tell you they're staying because they want to get this particular thing from them. And you're just like, why not just leave and you go, but they're like, nah, I don't want to start from scratch. I want to get this one thing that I've been waiting for him to do for so long. So I will, regardless of the time, sit and wait until he gets this done, then I will leave him. So I think sometimes there's also like an emotional element about it. I think sometimes women can be very emotional about the home. If you think about Portia Williams, Portia did not want Simon to get that house. And I can imagine because she probably put so much effort into designing it, she did not want him to get the house at all. So, because he said he wanted to keep the house and settle things outside of court, she said no, she does not want him to have the house. She would love to keep the house. And so I do think that sometimes, like, maybe she has gotten emotionally attached to the way she wants to build the house, the way she thinks the house should look. She doesn't want that to be built, and then another woman is coming into the house to come and be staying in the house. She would rather have the house, live there, know that this was her hard-earned work and effort that she puts into it, and then she can decide to leave. I don't know if that's what it is, but you guys let me know. What do you think? What would her point be of leaving after the house is done as opposed to just leaving right away? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Do you think there's any point in her wanting to leave later on? Why wouldn't she just leave immediately? Why would she want to leave um after the house is done? Catherine says that's going to be Kimmy's Give Me storyline, her and Maurice. Yep. Kimmy and Maurice's storyline is just honestly every year I always wonder why are they still on the show? And I just think that they just need to remove them from the show because I don't think they bring anything. And thinking about the fact that the new storyline is going to be about sex, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We've gone through the storyline before. Why is this another storyline that needs to be addressed? For goodness sakes. That is so odd. I would never follow a Scott or a Moore or a Leith. Lakeisha says Mel and Martha was still on the same show before she left the show, even when they were together. Yep, indeed. Tommy says not She by Sheree. Yeah, She by Sheree. She by Sheehan. I'm glad Mel isn't a Holt anymore. I'm sure she's glad too because she left that name and yeah, left that for Mr. Holt. That's why I don't believe the story of Dallas. I completely get because it's very, very, yeah, I know what you mean. It's very interesting. It's a very specific time. It's like what is it in it for her and why would she wait? But yeah, it is very, very interesting. The home is on the Scott family land, plus all the debit Marceau has is in her name. Against it doesn't make sense. The home is on the Scott family land, plus all the debit Marceau has in her name. Against it doesn't again it why do I keep saying against? Again, it doesn't make sense. Hmm. Interesting. So the house is in so all the debts is in her name? Interesting. So why that's a very good point. So if all the debt is in her name, why would she then wants the home to be done? Is it because she's planning to refinance or something? I don't know. That's a very, very good question. Hmm. Al says that decision by Melody to go back to her maiden name was such a boss move because MH would attach himself to everything he does post divorce. Everything she does post divorce. Yes, I agree. And I think also the fact that she had a whole ceremony for it was absolutely beautiful. And I remember how stunning she looked in it as well. I think that it was like, I am taking my power back. Enough is enough. And I was absolutely here for it. Like she was definitely showing the people how it should be done. Not gonna lie, she definitely was showing the people what needed to be done. Yes, don't worry, Alpha. I got it in the end. But yeah, yes, I got that you meant debt. But yeah, so because if he's doing the house, he's probably even incurring more debts in her name. If the debt is already in her name to begin with. Hmm, that is very, very interesting. I do wonder if now, this is not something that this is just speculation. Do you remember that Melody said that Tisha called her about something like a while back, right? And Melody never brought up what it was about, what was said. Do you think do you think that Tisha called Melody about potentially wanting to find out about how to divorce him? Hmm. This is a question. This is not a fact. This is me just saying a question. This is me speculating as to what the call could have been about. What do you think? Do you think like cuz it just took me back there for a second and I then started to think could that have been why she called Melody? Could that have been why she called Melody? Was she considering it? Or was she trying to just see, okay, do I need to get my ducks in a row? You know, what advice can I get? I definitely wonder about that. Very, 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 very curious to know whether or not, if I could have been a fly on the wall listening to that conversation, I absolutely would want to be. But yeah. Anyway, I think to be honest, looking at the comments, I think the consensus is nobody believes that she's going anywhere. It feels like nobody believes that she's going anywhere. Nobody also feels that it makes any sense that she wants to wait until after the Scotsman or whatever is done before she leaves him, allegedly. So, but yeah. But I do think the fact that she's not been seen since then, since the whole picture of Marsau being seen, being chummy chummy with a random woman, yeah, I don't think any wife would like that, if I'm being honest, especially if you don't seem very, you know, chimey and happy and excited when you're around your wife, right? So I don't think anyone would be looking to that at all. Okay, so let me read this comment and then we'll see if we move on to a different story. Yeah, I always thought Tisha asked Melody for Melody for Melody advice, for divorce advice. Personally, I hope Melody told her to contact a divorce attorney directly and keep it moving. Yep. I think so too. I think that it was probably about divorce advice. And yeah, I knowing the way Melody is, I feel like that's what Melody would say. Melody would be like, girl, get you an attorney, speak to them off the record probably before and figure out how you should go about it and what you need to be doing. So yeah, I definitely that would be my perspective as well. Keep it moving. I'm is that a Scorpio sign or I'm not really sure because the way it comes up on the screen, I'm not really sure. It's in Aries. I don't know. Everyone would know what she called me about after Tisha said they knew about the tape. Yep. Super is like, I am emptying out the clip. I am saying I am singing like a canary. That's the thing. I think Melody is a loyal person and has always been a loyal person, regardless of how other people have treated her. It's very interesting. She's always like, let me take the high road. Oh, it means cancer. Okay, okay, okay. Because I see Alf Dallas says I'm a cancer too. Oh, I see. Yes, girl. I did not understand what the sign meant at all. I did not know what it meant because it looks weird on the. It looks like yellowish and like it looks like little quotes. So like I did not know what that meant, but fair enough. Another thing to take into consideration is the placement of Marsau and Tisha in the cast photo. They're not close together. Yes, that is true. But I just thought that they were doing that to like stir up controversy and because they wanted it to seem like they are beefing. Because you know how I feel like Love and Maritans probably feel like people want to know whether Marceau is cheating, and that seems to be a big thing that people care about. So I just thought they were playing into it by giving like a by making it seem like they weren't close together, right? As opposed to it's being the reality. That's what I thought. I just thought they were trying to throw us off so that to force the people to watch Love and Married Huntsville just to figure out whether Marceau and Tisha are together. So, but who knows? You may be right. Maybe something really happened, and that's actually what happened. But yeah, I think for me, I just thought, yeah, they're trying to trick us. They want us to watch it. But yeah. Okay, but look how thick tongue questioned. No, you guys are cracking me up with the titles and the names you guys give these people. It's so funny to me. Question no neck nail that time when they were out eating about cheating. Yes, I remember that. And that's always stuck to me because I was like, why all these questions? It's definitely given you have something to say. It's given you have experienced something. So, but the thing is, and which is why I feel like Tisha is not very likable, is because everyone could have been like on your side with the way in which Master treated you or treats you. But when you then say in another woman's face after asking all these questions, and then you're like, yeah, well, he steps out, but my husband doesn't, I've never experienced that. It just makes it feel like you feel like you're insulated from that, right? And so, yeah, I definitely think it's a little bit like that. But yeah. But yeah, it was just the questions were just so specific. It was given, yes, you have experienced something like that. I did not believe for a second that Tisha has never experienced something like that because you seem to be so interested in cheating for someone who has never experienced something like that in your life. So that is very, very weird to me. I found that very weird to even engage with. But yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw the interview that Kimmy did. So Kimmy did an interview recently on like a podcast where she was talking about like her experience with breast cancer. She talked a little bit about like her family history, with, just their family health, and how she discovered like lumps in her breast. Like, it's so, honestly, I can't even imagine that. And, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. I'm glad that she was able to successfully beat that. And I pray that it never comes back. Because I just think like it's health issues are serious, and health is, when we have health, we have everything, to be honest. And so I love that she is actually talking about it. Because I think these are the kind of conversations that she should have had, instead of the whole sex thing that we kept encountering on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I felt like it just wasn't handled properly, and you can understand why, because in the conversation, she was talking about how she initially did not want to disclose what she was going through with her cancer. And the network was 50-50 with that, and did not care if she wanted to, you know, talk about it or not talk about it. They didn't care either way, right? And I'm like, the fact that that was not a like, oh wow, that is something that we can do to bring awareness. We can do that and let people know what the journey is like, is very, very shocking. Because I can't imagine someone, like, of course you don't want to, like, take over and be like, okay, you have to bring it on the show, yes, but I would have thought that that would have been a storyline that they would have been interested in talking about on the show. But the fact that they were 50-50 with it will also show why it feels like the network is very heavily drama driven. Because it's like, of all the ways you could have covered the breast cancer and the awareness, you decided to make it more of a spectacle, where the focus then became about having sex. The focus then became about whether or not you were pleasing your husband, when the focus should have been on the cancer, your journey, you know, family and friends supporting you, the different things that you don't hear about cancer, the different things they don't tell you about cancer. These are some of the things that could have made for really good TV. And a lot of people would have connected on a deeper level with Kimmy. I think the problem where people, what I feel happened with the Kimmy situation, people stopped connecting with Kimmy, was because she started defending Maurice through it all. She kept defending Maurice. And even in this so-called interview that she did recently, she kept talking about she had dated Maurice for 7 years before they got married. I'm like, 7 years before a ninja decides whether or not to marry you. That ain't my issue. But especially as a grown person, okay, cool. If it works for you, that's your business, not mine. And that he was made for her. And she was basically trying to make it seem like, yeah, he was made for her and was there for her through that process. And it was like, that was almost like the reason that he was brought into her life, to help her with her cancer struggles. Um, so she basically said all of these things, right? It was basically trying to big Maurice up. And she said Maurice was 100% or like 90% of the reason why she decided to tell the story on the show. And I'm like, I'm glad she told the story on the show. I just wish the story on the show was not really phrased around sex, and it was more about the experience, what day to day stuff was like. I don't think it was covered properly, in my opinion. After Alice says, I don't know, I just feel like Kimmy's lying about her C experience. I do think she had a scare, but not a full on C. Like, no one I know has sex while having regular chemo treatment. Ooh, that is very interesting. Do you think that is because she feels like Maurice is going to leave her, that she was still deciding to have the SEX? Because the way Maurice is out here talking about he wants to have it multiple times, and even when she's in pain, I'm absolutely even disgusted by even the fact that we still even have to think and talk about it. But I do wonder if maybe that's why she still felt like she still had to be giving it to him, because she knows that if she doesn't, he's going to be out in the streets. Which I think is pretty obvious if this man is telling you he needs it 4 or 5 times a day. Bajan says Kimi is a nurse. She could have done talks on it and a champion of awareness, but she was there throwing digs at Mel about her name change until Mel pulled her eloquently. Yeah. And that's why I feel like it just wasn't addressed properly, because I feel like it could have just been done so differently. Like you said, awareness. If they even showed us a little bit of like her checking her thing, how her breast, how she found out, going into a little bit more detail about that, how she felt immediately, right? Because I think sometimes people don't really talk about how you feel when you first get a diagnosis. How did you get out of that rut, if you got into a rut about it, or did you stay in denial? These are the things that we would have loved to be able to see and hear and get that on the show. But unfortunately, we got none of that. All we got was about how Maurice likes it and how she is doing a good service by still giving it to him. Like, so weird, so tactless. I can imagine even the people that were going through it, through their own cancer journeys, watching the show thinking like, why is this being so trivialized, and why is this being so reduced to the sex portion of it, right? She covers Maurice like he's her son. Ooh, Alf Dallas, do you have a psychology degree or something? Because you are hitting the spots tonight. Like, if you ever want to come up and chat and share your thoughts with the people, I would love for you to come up, because what? Mm-mm-mm. I love that analysis. She covers Maurice like he is her son. Mm-mm-mm. And I think part of it is because Maurice is younger than her, and she has stepped into that motherly role in his life. You're right. She acts as though the audience did not see how Maurice was not supportive of her health journey. Don't forget when he talks about how her hair is growing and made some joke about her hair. And even Marsau had to tell him that that's out of order. Right? Imagine Marsau had to tell him, like, yo, that's out of order. Don't be making no jokes about the woman's hair, right? But yeah, she's definitely trying to like reinvent history and make it sound like we didn't see what we saw. Like, we saw what we saw. We saw this man not care about your health. We saw this man prioritize him wanting sex over you. We saw all sorts of things. So it's like you then trying to pretend like we didn't see what we saw is low key gaslighting. I'm not gonna lie. It's low key giving gaslighting a little bit still. But yeah, I think she just whatever she does, it's always she's trying to protect Maurice. It's so sad. Because think about even like what her son was saying about sort of feeling like Maurice wasn't even there for him. And it's like, imagine your mom is out here babying a grown man on the one hand, and then on the other hand, it's like the man that she's even babying is not even there for you and showing up for you as a parent. It's like, how do you deal with all of these things, right? It's sad they will now use BC as a reason to drum up ratings. What is BC? Not sure what that is. She stalked Mr. Potato Head on Facebook. I bet she regrets it now, because she may not tell us, but I bet she regrets it, because even when we see the conversations, even when we look at Kimmy Loki looks stressed. I'm not gonna lie. Kimmy looks stressed out. The Kimmy we knew did not look stressed out. She looks good. She looked healthy. Nowadays, the Kimmy we see, Kimmy looks stressed. But it's like, if a man is out here trying to have sex with you 5 times a day, you will be stressed too. So, yeah. help her with her struggles, but he was chasing sex all through. She was fighting for her life, and that's what he cared about. Yes. Instead of, this man to sit with his wife and be like, baby, you don't have to worry about pleasing me. I'm just here to make sure you feel better. What can I do? Instead, you want to just stick it in regardless. It's so bothersome, And I remember when I think he came on Carlos King and he said it, and even the way he said it, he trivialized it, and people were upset, and rightfully so, because it just felt like you did not care about her. All you cared about was your pee. Super says our immune system would have been too vulnerable. I see what you mean. Like it would have been too vulnerable to actually be using that in that moment to have sex. Right, right, right. I get that. I get that. It's sad they will now use breast cancer as a reason to drum up ratings. Yes, yes, yes. That is very interesting. So I know it's a very sensitive topic, but if anyone who has had breast cancer is in the chat, and you want to share like your experiences with us about like, were you even at a point where you could have sex? Was that something that was possible for you to do? Let me do a quick search because here and there I want to people going through chemotherapy. Let's see. So I'm going on a website called Cancer Research, and it says sex and chemotherapy. So some people carry on with their sex lives as normal during chemotherapy. Others find the treatment changes how they feel emotionally or physically. Most of these changes won't last long. They won't affect your sex life permanently. Okay, there's usually no medical reason to stop having sex during chemo. The drugs won't have any long-term physical effects on your performance or enjoyment of sex. You can't pass cancer on to your other partners during sex. Although it does say sometimes you may feel too tired, not strong enough to be very active, sick or sore, not in the mood, unhappy with changes to your body, anxious or low. So some may be able to live their sex lives as normal. Others may find all of these things. They may feel all of these things. Let's see if it says anything more. Sometimes chemotherapy can cause women to have an early menopause. Oh, I see. Sometimes symptoms from the menopause may affect your sex life for a while. So women going through menopause have some symptoms like, wow, okay, these things. Okay, wow. Now, this is where it gets concerning. So sometimes it can cause women to have an early menopause. If it then makes you have an early menopause, here are some of the symptoms, which could be things like a drive, a JJ, loss of interest, joint and pains and aches, thinning and weakening of the bones. That just sounds so painful. Itching, vaginal pain or discomfort during sex, vaginal bleeding after sex. Wow, that is just horrible. I don't know if it got to the point where she was caused to have an early menopause and whether or not she went through these symptoms, but it really is not looking good. Not gonna lie, it's not looking good. Al says this is the same woman who has changed her story about how she met her husband. Yeah, who knows? Like, who knows what the truth is? I'm just a regular cancer chick who can see the BS. The Scots 2.0 displayed on Love and Married Huntsville. I'm older than Kimmy, just speaking the truth. She can't be throwing them legs around for Mr. Potato Head. That's why I had lipstick on him when he got arrested. Oh, Bashin cracks me up. I'm not gonna lie. You're so funny. You're so funny. But yeah, older than Kimmy, just speaking the truth. She can't be. You're right. You're right, because it's like throwing them legs around, especially for someone who clearly seems to want it that much. He probably wants her doing all sorts of acrobats, right? So, like acrobatics, all sorts of craziness. So, I'm definitely not surprised that, yeah. It was definitely not, yeah, not easy. When it comes to chemo, you don't play with that. You don't want to do anything. Your body shuts down. You're tired. All you want to do is relax. Chemo is not supposed to be having no sex, in my opinion. Been there. Oh, Catherine, thank God you got out of it. Thank God for the success. I hope you're feeling better now, just in general. But yeah, this is someone who has been there. She's telling us Kimmy is not supposed to be having no sex, honey. Your body just shuts down. You're tired. You do not want to do nothing. So yeah. And you've heard it from someone who has been through it. So yeah, thank you, Catherine, for sharing that with us. And we're glad to still have you with us. Safe and sound. Thank God for that. Lakeisha says Brandy Maxwell has had it off basketball wives. Yes, that is true. I do remember that. Super says one of my friends had it and she refrained because she had chemo and radiation. Wow, that sounds very, very intense. That is all true about sex during chemo, but the oncologist also tells you that chemo treatments could make your spouse ill. It is radiation. Oh, wow. I feel like I'm learning so much from you guys today. And thank you so much for being so open to like just share like some of the experiences that you've had and stuff. Cause I think it's so easy sometimes that like we forget that people are going through it. So like moments where you can actually get people that have been through it or have friends that have been through it, it helps. But these are some of the things that could have been a great conversation to have on the show, right? On Love and Marriage Huntsville, as opposed to just sex, right? So yeah. They even tell your spouse to use another bathroom in the home, if possible, to lessen cross contamination. That is very, very interesting. And I can understand how that would be as well. Yes, that actually makes a lot of sense. Now that you say it, I'm thinking about I know somebody who has been through chemo, and yes, she has sort of like her separate things, even like her food is separate. Um, in the house and stuff. Very, very interesting. That is very interesting. You live and you learn, people, but this is good stuff. And this is what I feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville, you missed the opportunity to really educate a lot of us, to increase awareness of this. Instead, all you gave us was sex or sex conversations, right? And now again, you're going to give us another season of sex conversations. So yeah, they're definitely doing us a disservice. Anyway, so let me pull up the other thing I wanted to show y'all. You guys know we discussed Tawanda and Tama Braxton. We talked about them. So I am going to not me trying to share y'all my WhatsApp conversations. That is crazy with how I'm sharing these tabs. Luckily, I'm not talking smack about any of y'all, so you're fine. But anyway, let me refresh this so it starts from the beginning.
Okay.
So some context, Giselle and Robin have a podcast called Reasonably Shady. And so now they're talking about Tawanda and Tama Braxton. Before that, let me just read this comment. Bajan says a real man will understand Mr. Potato Head seems to be a dog on heat. I agree completely. I feel like a real man will be patient enough for you. A real man will even be telling you, baby, like, you would be like, oh, I'm ready to go. He would be like, no, baby, are you sure? Right? Like, because he cares about you, and beyond you pleasing him, he is more concerned about how are you feeling. How can we get you up to your 100%, right? Not, oh, let's do some sex. So I feel like, yes, he's definitely giving dog and heat. cares about nobody else but himself, cares about just what he is going to get out of it and nothing else. It's very, very shameful. And I hope that at the reunion, somebody calls him out, because I feel like it's one thing he did this with the whole cancer experience. Now, to then bring that back again, someone needs to call him out and tell him he needs to see a therapist because something is wrong. So when Kimi and Maurice only discussed the sex aspect of her cancer experience, it pissed me off because so many women and people have experienced the processes of it, and she never discussed any of it in total. Exactly, I agree with you. I definitely think that that should not have been the case at all. It shouldn't have been that at all. I feel like it's really minimizing everyone's experience, all of the people that have been through it. And then you're minimizing everything to just sex, when it's like there's so much more that people are concerned about than just the sex, right? So it's like, what are we doing? There's so much more to life than sex. So yeah, I definitely wish that they had done it differently. Now, I don't know, in all fairness to Kimi and Maurice, well, Kimi, I don't really care to add Maurice in that. It may be that they did give other content as well, but maybe OWN and then producers did not think that it was good enough or interesting enough. You know how sometimes they think we want so much drama at the expense of like good quality content? And so maybe they just thought, yeah, let's just scrap that and not include that at all. So yeah, I do wonder. The horror about the fact that they want to keep going on with sex storyline is so irritating. No one wants to hear about that. Exactly. And I think that is what is more frustrating, is like, okay, years has passed since the cancer experience. Now we should be moving on to a completely different storyline. Yet we're still talking about the sex again. Bajan is here to make me laugh. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I love having Bajan in the chat. Like, she cracks me up every single day. Bajan says he doesn't look like he could give a good service anyway. Absolutely. And that's probably why she cannot be bothered to be throwing it back constantly anyway. So yeah. Yeah, trust Bajan to make me laugh. That actually cracked me up. Not gonna lie, is like, imagine, like, remember when Melody was like, "Oh, Martell did not even make her orgasm." I'm like, mm-hmm. Yes, he had the audacities to say that she wasn't pleasing him, honey. What, you weren't pleasing her? How about that? But yeah, sometimes these people don't care. All they care about is what they can get and nothing else. But anyway.
Again, I didn't know they had a show because I don't.
Is it the same show that they had before, Braxton Family Values?
I would assume so.
Okay.
I didn't know that the sisters were still beefing. It just need to be called Braxton Beef.
Right.
Okay. It does not need to be called anything else but that.
Yeah, because they be beefing constantly, like constantly. It's annoying at this point.
It needs to be make Tamar mad.
Just the Braxton Beef. So she put out there that she put a down payment to Wanda's house, and Tawanda didn't say nothing.
Right.
So you know that's true.
Right.
And
Right.
Tamar said, Tawanda, you've been stealing my money from my credit cards. Tawanda didn't really say anything to that either.
Right.
So I got nervous.
Okay.
I was like, oh, Lord, Tawanda. And then Tawanda was like, but you were sleeping with Tony's men.
Right.
I was like, ooh.
Ooh.
I said,
yeah, I know what you mean. It was like blow for blow for blow for blow. Mm-mm-mm.
whoo, I was clutching my purse. So then, do you know who she said? Because
No.
okay. So again, I didn't know they had a show.
My thing is, it really sounds like Giselle and them lot did not watch the whole episode, because the way she was like, oh, it's giving you didn't really watch it, to be completely honest. But I guess this is what we do, right? We see one little clip online and then we make our assessment. So maybe that's what that was, right? Sorry guys, people just love to call me when I'm live. even though I put my phone on sleep mode.
Because I
Is
don't
it the same show that they had before? Braxton Family
I would
Values?
assume so. I didn't know that the sisters were still beefing. It just need to be called Braxton beef.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Like on this one, Giselle ain't wrong. It just needs just get change it to Braxton beef. She's not wrong about that because the people be beefing constantly. It's like first season was just draining, exhausting, everything. This season is looking up to be the same thing. And it's just like they do not give us no balance. You know how sometimes, yeah, you guys beef, but you guys make up and we're not getting no balance. All we've gotten is beef. All we've gotten is beef. Braxton beef, Giselle is hilarious. Yep, Giselle be funny every now and then. Not gonna lie. Braxton beef, man.
Does not need to be called anything else but that.
It needs to be
So-
make Tamar mad.
Just the Braxton.
The truth is,
We
because
don't know. No.
I mean, they got it. I just saw the clip. Tony and Tamar got really angry.
Yes.
So it's like, are you angry because she's lying, or are you angry because she's telling the truth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which?
Good question, because yeah, the whole thing just escalated real quick. That much is obvious.
Which angry is this?
We don't know, but it's those kinds of arguments that get to a place of like all that happening should never happen.
No.
That's number one. Number two, it should never even be a thing that you slept with my man and we sisters.
Right.
That should never be a thing.
Right. And what's their age difference? Because I feel like they're like Tamar's the baby sis.
It probably, I want to say 15 years. That's what I want to say.
Tony and Tamar?
Yeah.
15 years apart?
10 years.
I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's.
But this is what I mean where I say it's looking like they didn't really watch it, because like if you watched it, then you would know, I guess, the context of the whole, a little bit of the Tamar allegedly sleeping with Tony's man thing a little bit more. And that's the thing. I guess that's the concerning part about like when you do watch a little clip online and you don't like watch the whole thing, your feedback is probably going to be skewed because you did not watch the whole thing. They be beefing all right, because look at how it was when it was Tracy and Tamar, and now Tracy's gone and the family is still arguing and fussing and fighting still. Yes, which shows they have deep rooted issues, because sometimes when somebody passes, everyone realizes life is short. We need to be careful. Let's show up better for our people. Let's try and be a little bit better. People just think of how best to show up in situations, right? But the fact that that's not even being considered, yeah, not a good sign.
Because Tony is older than me. I'm thinking Tamar might be 40.
Let's see. The truth is,
We
because
don't know. No.
I mean, they got it. I just saw the clip. Tony and Tamar got really angry.
So let me do a quick Google search. How old is Tamar Braxton and how old is Tony Braxton? Okay. So there's a 10-year difference between them. Apparently, Tamar is 48, if this is to be believed. And then Tony is 58. So there's a 10-year difference between both of them. Yeah, I just think they should have done better by just watch the episode fast, watch it on 2x or something, and get what you need out of it real quick, period, and then leave it. But yeah. So the other thing is, No Chaser TV showed the girls having a good old time. I'm not going to play. I'll play it, but without the audio, because I'm not trying to get no copyright issues with that. And they don't be playing with their music But so you see Cynthia, you see Portia, and you already know Portia and Cynthia are girls. They gonna be girlies throughout. Oldies. I can't see who is this. I can't see who that is. That doesn't look like anyone from the show, if I'm not mistaken. These two girls don't really look like anyone from the show. It's not very clear because it's definitely given party at night. Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the girls from the show. But you all know that Portia be having a time, okay? I'm even surprised she's not going to Dirty December. Maybe it's too early because we're still in November. She may still go for Dirty December just to prove a point to Simon that she can get into Nigeria if she wanted to. So we'll see if that happens. If I were her, I will absolutely go and have a ball. And look at Phaedra. Phaedra Parks with that blonde hair. She refuses to let go. Let's see if we see any more of the girls. Okay, that looks like Pinky, the newbie. Who else? Okay, that looks like K. Michelle. Okay, so looks like K. Michelle, Cynthia Bailey, Portia Williams, Phaedra Parks, Pinky Cole. We're out here having a good time. So where is Drew? Where is Shamia? Well, if we see Portia, then I would not be surprised if Shamia ain't there. But who else? There's some people that are missing. Might be Pavement, Portia's rug munching girlfriend. Now she got two of them? Mm-mm-mm. That is so funny. Hey, Kathy. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Portia, let it go, let it go. Oh, I think it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between the girlies. Like, because now, obviously, Drew ain't in it. Angela is not in it. Who else? Also, let's think about it. It seems like there's going to be a lot of people on the show because then there's going to be Pinky, K. Michelle, Portia Williams, Cynthia Bailey, Shamia, Kelly Farrell. These are like full-time cast members outside of Cynthia. Who else? Drew, that's 7 people already. Angela, that's 8 cast members, like full-time cast members. That's a lot of people. So that means if you then add who else do we know that is going to be a friend of the show? I think, didn't I see somewhere that Tammy was going to be a friend of the show? So then there's probably going to be like 10 people on the show, maybe even more. To be honest, maybe this is what Bravo wants to start doing as a new thing, because I think Real Housewives of Potomac, they also have 10 people on the show. So maybe it's a thing now. They want to try with like 10 people so that like there's more than enough people to push storylines. Some people have storylines, some don't. Maybe that's the new plan. But yeah, I'm just glad the girls look like they're having a good old time. Let's see. Portia looks good in that brown. To be fair, Portia be looking good in everything. Like, you may not like that woman, but she be looking good. Cynthia looks good. Cynthia is giving police officer vibe. I don't know who what these girls are giving. I don't know them. I can't see them well. The light is definitely not hitting them well, which is so funny because the light is definitely hitting Portia and Phaedra because you can see their faces. Even Pinky, you can see Pinky's face very well. Even K. Michelle, I don't know what K. Michelle is doing. Is K. Michelle sitting now? She's like, I am not getting up. Anyway, I'm glad the girls are having fun. We would like to see that on the show, please. Super says Tammy Rivera will be appearing on the show. Yes, I saw that. I think Tammy's a beautiful woman with a banging body. So yeah, I'm not gonna be mad at seeing her. Hopefully she gives us some decent looks. But I'm not sure what she will necessarily bring to these group of women. But yeah, it will be interesting to see. I hope she doesn't do too much. She never really does too much, but you know how sometimes like when people get on Real Housewives of Atlanta, they feel like they have to go and do too much. Like, for example, I feel like Kelly is always doing too much, Shamia is always doing too much. And I think it's because they have this thing somewhere deep down in their heads where they feel like they have to do too much to get to stay on the show. So yeah. Yeah, I like Tammy too. I like Tammy too, but I just want, I think it's just, I'm just tired of people coming on like shows and doing too much. Like Jazzy was doing too much, and we'll see her when she's doing too much with Tia next episode. And if you think about Shamia, the way she was just doing so much this season that she went from fan favorite to most hated on the show. It's like, how do you fumble yourself that badly, right? That's Shamia. Who else? Even Kay, right? Kay fumbled the bag. She's doing too much on Real Housewives of Potomac. So I just feel like I just don't like how a lot of people come on shows, and then because they feel like they have to perform, they just do, they go over and beyond and do some nonsense instead of being themselves. It's like being yourself should be enough. And if it ain't enough, then maybe this is not where you really should be. Um okay, so I want to move to some good news. Or should we end? Let's end with some good news. So I will leave the good news for the end so that we can end on that nice positive note for the night. But let's cover this. So let me share this tab instead. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Okay. For the newbies that just came in, please hit that like button. Thank you very much. Okay. So Real Housewives of Atlanta star Angela Oakley's husband, NBA veteran Charles Oakley, is ordered to pay $642,000 in legal fees to Madison Square Garden following viral 2017 arena ejection. So, I know some people were a little bit like, why are people, putting Angela's name before Charles, because people know of Charles. But to be honest, I did not know of Charles before Real Housewives of Atlanta, because that's not really my world, right? But Real Housewives of Atlanta is more my speed, right? So, of course, when Angela came, we got to know Angela, and then I found out about Charles. So I just think that the people that are probably on these socials may not necessarily know Mr. Oakley. Is not really like any disrespect or anything by saying Angela Oakley's husband. But now let's go over and read this detail. So, former NBA forward Charles Oakley has been ordered to pay more than $642,000 in legal fees stemming from the fallout of his ejection from a 2017 game. The fee award stems largely from a court determination that Charles failed to preserve 5 years' worth of text messages. Oh, wow. Why? Why wouldn't he preserve them? Which were crucial to his civil suit accusing MSG and owner of assault, battery, and defamation. This incident in question occurred on February the 8th, 2017, when Charles was removed from the courtside seat at MSG during a game between the New York Knicks and Los Angeles Clippers. He was seen arguing with arena security and was handcuffed and escorted out by several security guards. He was later charged with misdemeanor assault and criminal trespassing. Charles maintained that he never said a word to Dolan and was minding his own business when security asked why I was sitting so close to Dolan. Charles' legal team plans to appeal the ruling. Okay, so this is sort of, you can see what happened with that. Wow, Charles got crunk. And then look at how many people it took to carry him out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Wow. It definitely is a firecracker. I'm gonna say that, because that energy, that energy is very, very. That's full on energy. Super says, I knew about Charles before Angela, and I remember the incident at the garden. Yes, I think that's the thing. There's definitely going to be people that remember, people that knew about him. I did not know nothing about him at all. But yeah, very, very interesting. So like when you knew about the incident, what was the coverage? Because for me now, I feel like so much time has passed. Like we don't know who's at fault. All I know is he was ejected. So yeah, but I do think that's quite interesting. So I guess now he got to pay them the $642,000. I don't think it should be too bad for him to afford. But nobody likes to pay that kind of money to anybody. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see there. Um, but yeah, nobody really likes to pay that kind of money, to be honest. So something else I also want to share. Let me share this. Give me a second. I've done that thing where I have so many tabs open, and now I'm just like, let me remove them. So let me share this tab. See. Oh, let me read what Super says first. Security guard didn't know he was an ex-player and Charles got offended. Oh, I see. Which is why it's like sometimes like you gotta pipe down and just say, okay, I'm an ex-player, da 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 da. Like it did not need to be so excessive. Like that energy was a lot. And I understand, especially if you're a legend in the biz or whatever, you feel like, how dare you not know me? But at the same time, it's like, don't be getting so aggressive. Like just pipe down and just say, yes, I'm an ex NFL or whatever it's called. Um, you know, NBA or whatever. What is it? NFL and NBA? I do not know these things. Um, but yeah, can't remember what you guys call it. NBA, yes, that's what it is called. So yeah, like yeah, and then that should be the end of it. But all that energy, oof, yeah, yeah. But wish all the parties involved the best. Honestly, that's the best I can do. Have you guys noticed that this man has been posting his children a lot lately? I'm like, why aren't you the one that didn't want them to be posted? Now all of a sudden, now that you know you can be posted unless it's for financial reasons, you now want to be posting them constantly. Now you see the girls, Miss Marlene. You see, oh, look how pretty she is. Look how pretty she is. Look at how pretty. Look at Boss Baby. Aw, Papa Athlete. Okay, come on, girl. Aw, how cute. That is adorable. So he then says a few of my favorite people in the world. Congratulations to Mariah and Malia on a very successful tennis tournament this past weekend. Hard work pays off. And it's just like, guy, all of a sudden you keep posting these people, you keep posting them all the time, you keep posting your children. Like, okay, I don't know. The children are so beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. Yep, their kids are so beautiful. Yep, look at how gorgeous. Look at her face. Look at her cute, adorable face. Look at Boss Baby. How gorgeous is she? Like, look at that face. You know, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful skin. You know, that they definitely got from their mama. I'm just saying. The kids are absolutely adorable, not gonna lie. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And they are high achievers, which we know they also got from Mel. So shout out to Mel. Love, love it. And then now I'm seeing someone say now they can be on TV. Let's see what the response is saying. Martel says, why? You have a show for them? I think you should launch your own show. It worked for Candy and Kim. Mr. Holt, I believe you can do anything. Superman. This person is not serious. Not Mr. Holt. You can do anything. You're Superman. Are you okay? All these women that be in the comments. All these women that be in the comments of this man is really mind-boggling to me. He does have a love and marriage Hansel, right? Only when it comes to him. That was beautiful. These people need to mind their own business. Hmm. He needs the host or name the show after his grandmother, like he did with the wine. Double branding. And how well has the wine been doing? It's the weirdest thing. How well has that wine been doing? Super says, I'm still not following Hotel. I do not blame you. I only follow him because I need to see when he posts stuff. So, like, we have notifications on so that when that man posts something, I can come and bring that over here for you guys so that you guys can see it. But yeah. Congratulations, young ladies. Look at the smile on Miss Marlene's face. Congratulations. It's funny, a lot of the people in the comments are women. Congratulations. I saw somebody say you're a good father. How do you know? Are you the kids? It got so big. Mini Mels. Love it. Nations, girlies, your internet aunties are rooting for the 4-piece nuggets. I love it. I love this. We need more content, friend. One thing you can say that Martel, that man is going to take care of his kids. Shut up. How do you know that? How do you know that? Are we still not talking about the fact that all of the things that happen with Tank? Like, please. It's funny. It's always women that will be in the comments caping for Martel. No matter what Martel does in this life, there will always be women caping for him in dance. Caping. Fighting for him like he's their man. I do not get it. Ooh, why is my belly ringing like that? I'm not even hungry. I'm still full from earlier. They cannot be on TV. He shot himself in the foot because he needs them to film. Yep. And it's like, so is he going to go and beg for permission now for them to be able to film? It's like, no, honey, you did that. You thought you were doing Mel. And now you ended up doing yourself. You ended up causing yourself some issues because now you're the only one left on TV. And who are you going to film with? Who are you going to film with? The rest of the cast on Love and Marriage Husband are not even feeling you, so they do not want to be filming with you. Hence why you haven't even gotten that much camera time. So if you think you're going to be able to use the children to film, good luck with that. His comments are full of pygmishas, absolutely. It's the fact that like these people are swearing up and down how amazing he is. I'm like, you guys are crazy. It's like you guys have selective memories, amnesia, out of everything. They're like, no. Bunch of pygmishas, absolutely. Okay, let me look just to see if there's anything else. So there is one thing that I do want to cover, which is more on a positive note, but I wanted to leave the live on that positive note. So I am just going to check that there is nothing extra that I want to cover that has come out whilst I'm live. If nothing else, then we can cover that final bit before we all go home. Oh dear. There's some. I'm trying to see. Let's see if there's anything on the neighborhood talk that's interesting enough that we would want to hear. I don't see anything. Let's have a quick look at reality TV entertainment. Okay, let's talk quickly about this. Then we can, let me show y'all. Let me read the comments first. Bajan says, go film with Knox or Maverick. Yep, he definitely is not looking to do all of that. I think he knows, right? Like, especially because the 4-piece nuggets are raised a certain way. So of course he knows. He knows. They raise a certain way, they're high achievers. Of course, they're winning tournaments. Imagine if he was able to have that on the show. That would boost his image, clean him up so well. But he in a bid to try and snake Mel, he snaked himself. He just purposely lost 50-50 because he's not a great father, in my opinion. Exactly. But that's why I said there's a bunch of pick me shares. Because yeah, because I'm sure they know that, but yet they're still in the comments talking about like, oh, he's such a good daddy. It's like, what daddy? Who? The same man that did not show up, that chose to go to a reunion over going to fight for custody of his children? Like, guys, why do we always like to have selective memory when it comes to, people like that? So weird. Karen, once again, not an original thought, redoing Mel and Hotel Story. Yep. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like they're just like, let's bring it back. So I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised. This is what he does. No shock there. Okay. So let me pull up this. Oh. I don't mistakenly close this. I just mistakenly closed it. So let me go get it back. Let me get it back. Get it back. Okay. So let me share my screen. Guys, so what do you think? So here is the after show pairings. So they put Giselle, Tia, and Jazzy together. And then they put Stacy and Wendy together. And then Ashley and Monique. Then what's her name again? Kiana and Angel were put together. So, are we surprised? What do we think about the pairings? Is it good? Do we hate it? Do we like it? I would say Ashley and Wendy makes a lot of sense. Not Ashley and Wendy. Stacy and Wendy makes a lot of sense. I can definitely see that happening. I think that they have been teaming up a lot this season. Like you can tell they're like proper into it and stuff. I will say maybe they should have added Jazzy into that, just because Jazzy seemed to get on well with Stacy and Wendy. They seem like the fun people's club a little bit. So maybe I would have said they could have added Jazzy to the Stacy and Wendy of it all. Ashley and Monique, I think, is spot on. Kiana and Angel, I think, is spot on, but what else are we going to get but Angel's fake personality? Because Kiana is right there. So I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. Giselle and Tia, yes, Giselle and Tia make sense. I think they're cool as well, so I think it'll be interesting to see how they bounce off each other. I think it's also very interesting that they didn't put Giselle and Ashley together. I think they're just like, let's spread them out. Let's move them around, please. And I like that they did that. Because yeah, I don't think that Giselle and Ashley need to be together anymore. Like, we've already seen them sort of like as a team on the show. We don't need to see them as a team here again. Besides, I think Giselle is fun when she's around other people. With Ashley, Giselle is just, I don't know. I just feel like I find Giselle more fun and funnier when she's with the other girls than necessarily with Ashley. Maybe it's because Ashley is always bringing some BS. But yeah, I think Stacy and Wendy are very, very good duo. I think they work very, very well. You can see the way they bounce off each other when they were trying to tag team Giselle. I liked that. I definitely think that that would be a nice, fun interaction. Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, so I think they did okay with the pairings. I think the only one I would say that I feel like maybe Jazzy should have been with Wendy and Stacy as opposed to Giselle and Tia. But Yeah, I'm sure she'll do all right as well with Giselle and Tia. So it would be nice to like see how they get on. But yeah, all good, all good, all good. Okay, so as I said, we're going to end on a positive note. So let me show y'all this. Mm, 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 mm. So it looks like Mel got a feature with Pretty Hustlers. And they talk about how Mel turned a childhood skin condition into a seven-figure beauty brand for Black women. So shout out to Mel, like big up Mel, big up Mel, big up Mel. Guys, for those who have just come in, you're welcome. Please hit that like button. We are almost coming to the end of the live, but please feel free to go back and watch the replay if you have missed anything. We talked about different things, to be honest. We talked about a lot of Love and Marriage Huntsville tea. We did also talk about some Tamer Braxton, Tony Braxton, Tawanda-ish. Um, based on Giselle. We talked about some Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac tea. So make sure you watch the replay. But yeah, now we want to finish it off on a very positive note by talking about some of the amazing things that Mel has done. So Pretty Hustler says, from childhood challenges to a seven-figure legacy, Melody is proof that when a woman believes in her purpose, nothing can stop her glow. After facing a skin condition in her youth and a public divorce in her adulthood, Melody didn't just survive, she built, she pivoted, she blossomed. Ain't that a word? Like, do you know how deep that is? Like, but it's true though. Like, she did not just survive. It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I survived it. Nah, she did not just survive, she thrived. She pivoted, she blossomed into who we see today, right? So it's so beautiful to see the growth, to see the resilience, to see the strength, and to see like not so great days, right? Days when she's like, oh, she's tired and that, and so it's good to just be able to have been through and like supported as much as we could have in that journey somehow. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that she's getting the recognition that she deserves. Today's Seventh Avenue Beauty stands as a love letter to ambitious Black women everywhere, created for women who do it all and deserve it all. Sis is rewriting the blueprint for beauty, resilience, and Black success. Hallelujah. That is so, so beautiful. And if you look at the comments, somebody says, I love the products. You get what you pay for. It costs to get vegan skincare. I catch the sales and it's worth it. Melody's products are really good. And this is a honest review. Another person says, what an incredible acknowledgement, especially with knowing how your beauty line was created to see where it is now. Just amazing. Congratulations. And her products is amazing, makes you feel so soft and young, just walking around glowing. Oh, that is so sweet. So cute. Serenity says, and these products actually do work, and that's what keeps me coming back. See, when you do good work and you provide great products, see how people are just in the comments, like just hyping the products up, like hyping the products up. You can tell that these people genuinely use the products and love the products, and just over there, just be like hyping the products all the way up. I love it. Bless her, I want nothing but good for her. I absolutely love SAB products. Homegirl in the comments need to catch your TikTok live to catch a sale from SAB. Someone says, look how far God has brought you from. He has blessed you day by day. Look how far the Lord has brought you from. Keep rising and shining. Love the facial cleanser. Her products is amazing. So if you look at a lot of the comments, like exactly read this, plan on ordering shortly because baby, my skin be soft. Like obviously you can see a lot of people. Look at all these comments of people that are talking about the products are affordable, love them, how the products are great for the skin. Someone says, if you guys have not tried SAB, you're truly missing out. I have been a customer for about 2 years at 58. My skin has never been better. How wonderful. How wonderful. So it's like, and this is why also it's also a lesson for us, like don't cut corners. Because sometimes like certain people, you be doing products, you know that it's going to be expensive to create stuff, and then you be cutting corners. You may say it's vegan, but it ain't vegan, or like you're cutting corners and using like products that aren't very good. Things like that. It's never ever a good thing, never ever a good sign. And so I'm so happy for Mel. I'm so happy for the people that get to use her products, enjoy her products. And yeah, like, and I'm also hoping that, very soon, hopefully when next I'm in the US, I can order some of those products and get some of those products myself so I can try. When I try those products, I will not know how to act because I'm going to be over here talking about them all of the time. So yeah. Super says I use SAB every night, every day and night. You see? And I bet it's doing amazing things for your skin. But yeah, like I just think about how amazing and how much she has blossomed since she left that marriage. And how on the other hand, Martel has not blossomed since she left him, right? And so it's just like with that level of growth, you can't even look back because you finally see that somebody was holding you back, and you see how much you were able to achieve by literally letting that dead weight go. And I think that's probably the way Melody feels. It's like there's nothing that can make her think to go back to somebody like Martel. When as soon as she left him, look at all these amazing things that have happened for her. Nothing as beautiful as that. So Super says I can't order from the site. I can, but I already know how these people are with customs. In the past, when I've ordered stuff from the US, I've had all sorts of like custom charges and difficulties with that. So I'm just like, to prevent that, I was just like, let me leave it when I'm in the US. Probably at some point, well, to be fair, because of health reasons, I'm not really sure. Initially, I was going to be in the US this month, but the way things are going now, I don't know. I need to focus. I need to do like my consultations first and see what the specialists are saying before I can decide if I'm going to go to the US. So yeah, I think for now I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But yeah, I feel like that's the only reason. The custom thing has been the bit that kind of made me pause a little bit, because in the past when I've ordered stuff from like websites in the US, customs has just been a beat. I've had to pay customs as well as the additional charges. But yeah. On that note, my lovelies, thank you so much for hanging with me. We also have a video that will be premiering now, actually. So it's probably premiering on the channel right now. It's a live of Melody. So if you guys are happy to catch that, feel free to catch that. For the replay gang, thank you so much. Please hit that like button and let us know what you think in the comment section. For everyone who has joined the live, thank you so much for hanging with me. Yeah, thank you so much for hanging. For everyone in the comments, really appreciate you guys always coming and giving your feedback and engagement. So yeah, thank you all. If anything interesting happens between today and tomorrow, guys, I will come back tomorrow and give that for you. You guys know I love to have Friday night lives with you guys. So if if it, just fingers crossed something good comes up that we can talk about tomorrow, and then I will come up. But yeah, if you just like turn on all your notifications, then you know whenever I come or schedule a live or whatnot, so we can all join. But yeah, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful afternoon if you still are at work and it's during the day. But yeah, thank you all. Have a wonderful day, and probably speak to you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Good night. Good night. Bye. Yeah, and Tommy is saying, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much. And you too. Get some rest. I know it's late for you as well. So get some rest. And thank you so much for being an amazing mod.